Hey, what's happening, guys? Dan Darrow here with another Options and Play video update. I want to thank all of you that stuck around last night for our bi-monthly option session. Just always value the time we get to spend together, talking trading, talking options. Last night we went over a lot of different things, kind of more option intensive night. Lots of talk of in the money, out of the money, data burn, how to kind of position for potentially a lower volatility environment. So just a lot going on. If you weren't able to make it, please take a look. That's up on the YouTube stream now. If you have any questions and you want me to go over something, please don't hesitate to reach out. All right. One of the things that I actually didn't get around to talking about, and I wanted to just quickly go over it, just I usually talk about gold and silver, and we did get to cover those last night. But what it kind of escaped me just because it was such a busy night was I wanted to mention copper. So definitely not like the first or the second name that most people think of when they think of metals. In terms of commodities, I know a lot of people probably focus on a lot of other names outside of copper, but this is one that's really starting to look
Yemen
pretty
Shiite
interesting to me.
rebels claim destroying Al Qaeda,
Uh,
ISIS camp.
you have you have really great strength in a lot of different commodities. I mean, the dollar rolling over is helping things that are dollar based or dollar denominated, right? And copper was one that kind of crossed my radar because of basically what it did up into July and then how it's acted since. So, if you look at it, you see like a huge move off the low and you see it kind of just ticking above the previous January high, right? So, that in of itself, kind of interesting, just, based off like the magnitude of the reversal and now kind of where it's hanging out, right? It's basically consolidating above the previous high. But if you go back on the longer term charts, you go back a few years, right, you can see how significant this level actually is. So going back 3 to 4 years, you can see that essentially under say like 1850 area, it's been just very heavy resistance, right? So the copper has come all the way back and now it's consolidating underneath this really massive area of resistance. If it were to break out, right, and clear this resistance, then you have a very clear upside target range, right? And this to me is kind of reminiscent of what silver did in the sense that it had a very significant drop, uh, basically February, March, and then a huge reversal. And then when it got to like a major resistance range, when you saw a really explosive breakout, right? So if I go back and show you, get rid of some of these. So it had a very significant reversal, right? Pause right at the top of this resistance range. Tighten this up a bit so you can see what I mean, right? So it had failure, reversal, came back, and then when you had the breakout through the 3 4 year resistance range, it was a massive move, right? Now you can see kind of some similarities. Had a breakdown, huge reversal, and now it's flagging underneath a similar kind of resistance range, right? So basically what I'm watching is to see if it gets volume, if it gets participation, and if it really starts to get going above 19. I think that this is one that could really start to wake up, right? Now, copper CPER is an exchange traded fund. Might be something you take a look at, but also FCX is usually a pretty good place. So you can see if I put the comparisons over, so if I put copper over FCX, you can see that they are very, very, very closely correlated. So if you're thinking about playing this, and basically that's what we have been looking at, I thought FCX was a good way to approach it because options are more liquid, stock does more volume, easier to get in, easier to get out, spreads aren't as bad. So for me, like I've been looking at FCX as a way to play it, and FCX is a very similar setup. It's basically flagging just at the top of recent resistance, right? Even arguably above it. And I think as this starts to build up towards 15, maybe even through 15, it could really pick up some momentum. And you have some clean, clear targets on the upside in like the high teens, like 20 range. So to me, like this is how I've been focused on copper. Not specifically the ETF copper, but I've been looking at FCX. This is probably how I'm going to continue to focus on it. And I'm really curious to see if the volume and the participation really starts to pick up as both FCX and copper start to work on like these really, really significant levels. All right. So again, this was something I wanted to talk about last night. Didn't get around to it, so I wanted to go over here. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Hope if you like this video and you're looking for more swing trade ideas, especially some like longer term swing trade ideas, which is what we've started to put on recently, please follow up with the link in the description of the video for more information on options to play. Hope you guys have a great night. Stay well, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.